What's going on, guys? In the works, and we are fooling around with the LSAT today, and a lot of people hate this weapon. In fact, my squad mates during this game were like, Jake, why are you using the LSAT? That is the worst weapon. They were flabbergasted that I was actually giving it a chance, and when I told them the setup I was using, they were even more confused because I'm using bipod and laser sight. But before we get into that, you know, I've been using support a lot. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite classes again, and you guys know that I've been looking for that support. I don't even know what you would call it, you know, that middle ground, that support weapon that just works. And I've been toying around with all sorts of different support weapons, but I can't get away from the belt feds. The belt feds to me are what make an LMG. I know there's a lot of good, you know, mag fed, box fed LMGs in the game, but something about the belt feds just make it feel like you're a support player. And I tried out the M249 again. You know, I really want something that allows me to play aggressive and allows me to play that typical LMG role at the same time. And, you know, everybody hates the Type 88, and when the Close Quarters DLC came out, they looked at the stats of the LSAT. They're like, okay, so it's the Type 88 with a new skin. But a lot of people overlook some of the cool things about the LSAT, me in particular. In fact, my first impressions video, I was pretty down on the LSAT. I said there's really no point to it, but I was looking through, and I was like, you know what? The LSAT actually has a pretty fast reload for a belt fed. In fact, it's almost tied with the PKP for the fastest, and it's almost a second faster than your other choices. Now the PKP does have, like, I think a fraction of a second better than the LSAT, so that is one of the things about it. But the LSAT has such good maneuverability. I don't know what it is about it. It seems like you can maneuver much better with this thing, and it takes up less of the screen. It's more of it's less of that fat man weapon. You know, when you're using the M60 or the 240 Bravo or even the PKP, you feel like you're moving this fat boy weapon. You know, you've got like 50 pounds on you, and when you try to stand up, he's like, ugh. Whereas with the LSAT, it's more like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It feels like you're using a glorified assault rifle, but at the same time, you're still using an LMG with a bipod, you know, 100 rounds, suppression out the butt. So it is a lot of fun. It's the blend that I was really looking for. And the recoil patterns on this are very low. But a lot of people don't realize why I use laser sight on it. And I'm sure you figured it out by now. The LSAT actually has the best hip fire in the game out of the belt feds. So if you're looking for a belt fed to hip fire, the LSAT is your choice. Put a laser sight on it. And you're like, no, I don't want to trade my extended mags. It's what I love about LMGs. But look, listen, guys. Extended mags are nice. And I was really hesitant at first to put on the laser sight. I was like, I don't want to do that. You know, giving up extended mags, that's a big disadvantage. You know, one of the big things that LMGs have. But I really thought about it, and I was like, man, you know, the laser sight has helped me more than extended mags ever will. Because you have a little bit faster reload, I felt like it was a little bit more advantageous to have the laser sight on it. I tried it with all sorts of combinations. I tried it with flash suppressor. Figured out, you know, flash suppressor is nice. It's a good alternative, but I'd rather have extended mags. So then I tried laser sight, and laser sight was the only thing I could really justify trading extended mags for. So this is my setup. You know, I find that the LSAT with bipod and laser sight, it gives you the best of both worlds. If you want to sit down and play the typical LMG and bipod up like I'm doing now, it gives you that ability to do that. If you want to run in there and clear out a room with laser sight and hip fire, it gives you the ability to do that as well. So it's a very versatile weapon. It's actually quickly becoming one of my favorite support setups. Now, admittedly, I like a lot of weapons. That's one of my downfalls. I like to use variety in the game. I like to mix things up with a lot of different weapons, but I'm having that hard time finding that middle ground. You know, I've been looking for the support weapon that just, it can fill any void, and that's why I've been liking the LSAT. Now, I won't say that it's the best in the game, but as far as being a weapon that everyone hates, I feel like it's so much better than the Type 88. Everyone hates the Type 88. They say, okay, the LSAT's just a Type 88 clone. But then I look at the LSAT, I'm like, look, guys, the Type 88 and the LSAT, they're nowhere near each other. I think that the LSAT has a lot more better qualities, honestly. It has less upward recoil than the Type 88. And upward recoil has always been the biggest thing that bothers me on an LMG. So I find that with the bipod down, this thing is just a laser beam. So if you're looking for a nice mix between maybe the Type 88 and I guess one of the magazine fed LMGs, that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what I see it as, because it does have the better hip fire. Now, support is a class that I've been trying to get back into. You guys know, you can probably tell by the past couple of videos I've done that support is something that I used to love a lot. I stopped using it just because it was so underpowered, and I've been trying to get back into it. And I've really been loving C4. I've really been loving the more aggressive style support classes, and really, when support's played right, it can be very, very powerful. I see a lot of people out there, though, that they look at bipods and they call them, you know, a noob tactic or overpowered. But honestly, guys, that's how you have to do it. That's what they're there for. LMGs have a lot of disadvantages, but one of the advantages they have is holding down choke points, and I don't really think that makes anybody a noob player. So if you're an LMG guy, don't let people make you feel bad because you use the bipod. But here's an example of just how good this thing can be in close quarters. It is a close quarters masters, at least in terms of the belt feds, but look at that. Boom, 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 boom. And my bad sound effects this video are probably pretty bad, but there's a 4-piece for you in the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. It was a pretty good look at the LSAT. It's actually quickly becoming one of my favorites, and I think a lot of people tend to underestimate the power it can actually have in close quarters. But if you missed any of my last videos, yesterday I actually did 2 Battlefield 3 videos, one on the Amtrak, and then before that I did one on this month's content drop, which was very underwhelming. So if you're upset about the content drop this month, as a lot of people were, you might want to check that video out. It was a pretty good one, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.